Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Founders Crit, sponsored by Gaper.io. Today we have Anne. Anne is the co-founder and CEO of telehealthrecovery.com. Anne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Give us a brief background about yourself, what you've been doing before telehealth.
Okay. I always go back. I go way back since a child and into high school, always wanted to make an impact in the world. I always thought that, it needed more people in the world to help it blossom per se. So actually in my high school yearbook, I wrote what I wanted to do was help the world blossom into a beautiful flower. And so as a child, I worked with nonprofits and helped, and it just, as I grew older and older, I became more involved with the nonprofit sector. I am a serial entrepreneur and always starting businesses, helping others in branding their own business. I became a serial entrepreneur and worked with Next Century. I started Next Century Global and worked with a lot of clients everywhere from fashion to healthcare to automotive. And, it was a great ride. And it wasn't until after about 4 years ago, I lost my brother to an overdose. And he was, in the military, formerly in the military, and he, broke his back while he was on a jet ski. I think it was right after he got out of the military, and he had back pain and they prescribed medication, and that turned from one thing to the other. So he had an opioid overdose, and that really was a profound moment in my life. I mean, I've always enjoyed helping others. I made impact on the ovarian cancer community, raising over $1 million for the research for University of Penn. And it just, nothing hit me like, the death of my brother. So my sister and I then, 4 years ago, little less than 4, started a nonprofit in his name. His name was King, so King's Crusade. And it's so needed out there. We didn't have resources to help people, to help my own brother with his addiction. And I lived his addiction with him because it's a family disease. And we started a nonprofit. We helped the community at large. I mean, it was incredible what we had done in such a short period of time, working with governors and congressmen and the national task forces and DEA. It was awesome. We helped our community by raising money to be able to help people get into sober living and get themselves detoxed and whatnot, and so much more. And it was great. I mean, it was a community effort. We were very well respected. We came out at the right time, at the right place, and we blew it up. I mean, it was great. My sister is very community oriented. And like I said from the very beginning, I'm very globally oriented. And I really felt after a period of time, I was still doing my Next Century Global work and branding at the time. And so I came across Zach, my partner now, on another project that I worked with. He was an investor in that project, and I was working for them, and we started discussing things, and telehealth came up as something that it was just an interest to me. And I heard the word, and I knew that it was out there, but I know it wasn't out there enough. And a light bulb went off for me saying, this is how I'm going to take this community effort of the nonprofit and help people across, the US at least, because we are just in epidemic proportions of addictions and suicides, mental health. And so, Zach and I got together and we talked about it and decided to start a telehealth company. This was pre-COVID. This was back when I thought it would be a real barrier to educate people on telehealth. Little did I know that COVID, turns around, and COVID has just made everyone use telehealth. So we don't have that barrier anymore, and I'm really grateful for it.
Right.
So, something good came out of it. People learned how to use telehealth, and it's working.
Sorry about it. And uh, keep up the amazing efforts with the charity and everything.
King's Crusade, yeah. So my sister, I said, you have this. She is incredible. I mean, has helped thousands, truly thousands of people. And, now we're ready to help millions, we hope.
No,
Yeah.
good luck with that. Our prayers are with you. So, being a founder, and you need to wear multiple hats, right? So, from um, managing teams, the development team, the sales team, marketing team, investor relationships, customers, right?
Yeah.
So COVID has forced us to learn multiple things, and the most essential skill right now for serial entrepreneurs or even individuals or even high management is being to manage teams remotely.
Yes.
So how are you coping up with all of it, and what productivity hacks are you using? Looking in the mental health of the team, what's the secret sauce?
Well, I can tell you this. I have seen and witnessed through one of our other partners, he's our chief marketing officer, what remote can actually do for people and how it can help people. And Dave Giorgenti our partner had started the very first GoFundMe. And although it wasn't called GoFundMe, it was called Wish Upon a Hero. Um, it was incredible the amount of people that could go on and request help, and other people from across the world or country could help them and bring them what they want. So I've witnessed great things with working remotely helping people, and that was through our partner Dave Giorgenti. And I'm very proud of. Did I lose you, or are you okay?
No, I'm here. I'm here. So I was getting a lag, so I put my video on pause.
Oh, no, that's okay. So I've seen him. I've seen the efforts of what working remotely can do, and I never ever felt uncomfortable with it. And I've always been able to communicate. I think it's very important to communicate. And if you're a good communicator, then working remotely shouldn't be a problem. We've pulled a whole team together with telehealth from my partners in Houston. We have two other partners in Houston, a partner in Georgia. And this was a year ago. This was before COVID. So I absolutely have faith that you can work in other countries and make things happen. That gives such great impact.
Got it. So COVID has impacted a lot of industries while it has acted as a catalyst for a few of them, right?
Right.
So how has it impacted telehealth recovery? Is the graph on the rise, or it has affected?
Well, I'll tell you, in one way, it has, again, educated people to quickly believe in telehealth, that it works, that they can go on and that they can be received immediately, sometimes more immediately than if they've had to wait in a doctor's office or anything really. But, with regards to the team and working and how it's affected us, we have seen overdoses, we have seen suicides that have been on the increase, anxieties, OCDs, insomnia. You've seen it all with COVID, and such anxiety. This has been very anxiety producing. And, I don't want to discount students, like, young kids and adolescents, even, and young adults in college. It has really done a number on their minds. And, I believe that we need to get Telehealth Recovery Network out there. Our first goal is to bring it to colleges and students, and given them access to peer support specialists 24/7 when they need it. That person's there for them. There's no wait lists like they have in colleges now for mental health, psychological. And, and then bring it into the corporate world and work with first responders who have been traumatized, who need it. So there are so many people that need help to talk with someone. We have peer specialists, we have licensed counselors, and a self-help module as well, and other resources that are phenomenal. I would just say that, we are trying to make mental health, cleanliness, right? Just to clean your mind and your spirit. We would like to be able to get rid of the stigma, so that when I say I need to speak to my counselor, that it's the same thing as going to your family doctor or a dentist for a toothache. I mean, don't be afraid of it. And the number one reason among students why they don't seek counseling is because they're embarrassed. So we are breaking the stigma. They can use the app and go in any room that's private and secure and talk to someone. So, COVID has affected people's minds, and the need is greater for telehealth recovery network.
So last question. Where do you see telehealth 3 years from now? Telehealth recovery 3 years from now?
Mm-hmm. I see it in other countries as well as America. I see that there'll be others that emulate us, and I'd be proud of that. We've set a gold standard. We know there will be followers. We're not the first to bring mental health help. The Talkspace has licensed counselors and BetterHelp. We've added peer support specialists, which is very important. They can be there. And I see people emulating us, but it's important to me as the CEO, it always has been, that we set the gold standard and that we are certain that we're giving people the very best of care, that we're always there, and that their lives improve, because that's what it's all about.
And thank you so much, and all the best with telehealthrecovery.com, and hopefully we'll keep on hearing amazing news, and stay safe. Thank you so much.
Oh, you too. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Mustafa.